Hello everyone and welcome to Jurassic Park, or more specifically a Jurassic Park related video. Sometimes we do Park, sometimes we do World. We go back and forth between the two because the series at this point is pretty large. Not only do you have these 6 films, but we have a 7th on the way. We have the Battle of Big Rock on YouTube. We have Camp Cretaceous and all that on Netflix. Pretty big at this point, but today we're actually going to take it back to the original and look at a few little behind the scenes clips of Spielberg doing his thing, working his magic, you know, right there on set. It's pretty neat to see some behind the scenes stuff. Not going to be a long video, it's not going to be something grand, just a small, enjoyable nugget right here towards the end of Jurassic June to tide you over until I come back in next month full force with more videos. Let's get started, shall we?
Mark!
Oh.
Postmortem contraction of the post.
I've said this before, but I still very much want to be on set for one of these. I kind of just want to be on set for any movie, honestly, just for the experience, kind of like a one-off experience, but to be on the set of a Jurassic film is definitely one of my goals. I doubt it'll ever happen because I don't work in the industry, but it'd be nice.
Posterior neck ligaments. Velociraptor?
Yeah, it's good shape too.
Kind of like you're really casual about it. You're not sort of very casual, just kicking the... Yeah, like that. Great, great. It's defiant.
That doesn't look very scary. More like a 6-foot turkey.
Oh, we all hated this kid when we were kids. I think every kid that watched Jurassic hated this kid. I think it's funny that people over the years have tried to shoehorn this random side character that's a one-off back into the series. Oh, it was Owen Grady as a kid. It was this person and that person. No, it's just a random kid that needed to be there so Grant could deliver some, you know, exposition and dialogue. And stop it, people.
And then, yeah, maybe... Good. Good. Then you just turn and walk away.
Try to show a little respect.
I had to pause it a couple of times. They're showing a lot of clips from the movie, and if I don't pause it, then Universal's going to come after me. Yeah, this video comes from the Universal All Access YouTube page, by the way. It does not come directly from the Jurassic World YouTube page, so if anybody was kind of wondering and wanted to see the original. Of course, I've been trying my absolute best to make sure that I'm putting the descriptions, or in the description of my video, I'm putting links to each video that we watch. Doing my due diligence.
Okay, yeah, just get the camera right in here. See if we can get Richard right in here. Richard, you might have to, yeah, there we go, yes sir. Being an actor and a director, he knows to move that much farther to that side. Over here, pull up.
Forward. Action on the beat.
Slow down, kid, slow.
Shouldn't be here.
You know, I never really thought about this before, but the 18 on the side of the Jeep, does that mean they have at least 18 gas-powered Jeeps on the island?
A reminder, the boat for the mainland will be leaving at 1900 hours.
How was he in here? Was he this way?
The score to Jurassic Park elevates it to a new level. When I think about all the making of videos that we've watched so far, and I think about all the times I've heard directors and the cast and everybody speak about these movies, and I think about, you know, my own personal experience with it in theaters and over the years for each subsequent rewatch. If it weren't for the music elevating it, it might be just a little bit of a standard dinosaur movie. I don't know. I don't want to take away from the directing. I don't want to take away from the performances. I don't want to take away from the visuals, but the music is that little bit on top that makes it perfect. Because like that sing-songy kind of heavenly, oh, while the egg is hatching, is perfect. And I want to say, if I'm not mistaken, that returns with Jurassic Park 3 when they're walking through the defunct InGen laboratories on Isla Sorna, and you see the tanks and you see the hatchery and the machines and everything, the incubators. That's the word I'm trying to think of. I think that it's been a minute since I watched it. I have to go back and double check, but I think there's that same element of music during that section too, and it really gives each one of these sections its own kind of vibe. Like, we're not out being chased yet. We're not, you know, in a high action scene. This is a more subdued, subtle moment of awe, which the series does have a lot of that. It has those little moments where you can kind of calm down, sit back and reflect and take it in. And it's kind of a spiritual moment almost, amongst all of the roaring and the yelling and the screaming and the chasing.
Come on. Come on, little one. Come on. Come on, little one. Come on. There you are.
Body for him now. Look under, stand under that thing, Sam.
What species is this?
That's Velociraptor. You bred raptors. All right, I'm not going to sit here and quote the whole movie, although I could.
We laid on lunch for you before you set out into the park. Our gourmet chef Alejandro.
What are they doing?
Feeding them. Alejandro's prepared a delightful menu for us. Chilean sea bass, I believe. Shall we?
As a kid, I always thought he said chili and sea bass, not Chilean sea bass. I always wondered why they were having chili with fish, and I thought it was just something that rich people ate. Look, the Hammond's giving them.
You're gonna like this, grandfather. It's a mosquito trapped in amber. That's how they got the dinosaurs. See, it's a real mosquito.
Is that a real mosquito?
Uh-huh. A big one. Big.
And how'd they get it to stay there? Just stick there?
Well, because when sap came off a tree and trapped the mosquito, about 50 million years later, the sap got hard. Actually, it gets hard before 50 million years, and it entombs the mosquitoes. The mosquito,
How did you make this one?
Well, we waited for 50 million years. We've been in pre-production for 50 million years on this movie. Sort of kind of back here. I want to look for the as the two cars come up, you know.
It's funny. I guess directors really do kind of walk around doing that, you know, framing it kind of in their mind. Today, people joke about it and it comes off as pretentious, but back in the day, I guess that's really how they kind of captured it in their eye.
Right. As they're coming up, we're just coming around.
These will be your transports for the afternoon.
No drivers.
No drivers. But they're electric. They run on this track in the middle of the roadway here. Totally non-polluting, top of the line, spared no expense.
I'll tell you what, it's almost like you're right here and Grant's right here, and it's like we're on you know, I'll ride with Dr. Sattler.
I'm gonna ride with Dr. Sattler.
And if you go off that way, Grant, you know, takes a few steps to get into the same car, and Timmy steps right in his way and stops him. Without putting, yeah, exactly. You hold the book up to him at his picture. So I read your book.
I read your book.
Oh, yeah? That's great.
You know when dinosaurs turned to birds and that's where they all went?
Well, a few species may have evolved along those lines.
You start pushing in.
It sure don't look like birds to me. I heard that there was this meteor.
At that point, you say, which car do you want to go into? Which car are you going to be?
So I have to say my line first.
Yeah. Finish your line right here.
I heard that there was this meteor hit the earth someplace down in Mexico and made this big crater.
Listen,
Tim.
Tim, which car were you planning on?
Whichever one you are. Then I heard about this thing in Omni, about this meteor making all this heat, and it made a bunch of diamond dust. And that thing's the weather, and they died because of the weather. And then my teacher tells me about this other book by a guy named Backer.
Backer. As he said, slammed on his face and he slid. Good.
And he
Jesse still mid-sentence. Oh my God.
She said I should ride with
That
you
is right, dude,
it'd be good for
because
you.
it'd be good for you.
The boat is now floating. Everyone must be on the dock for the 1900 hour departure.
That's right there. Right. In a bit more. In toward the window.
I see those cameras a lot that have Panavision written on the side. What is Panavision? Look at the little track with the cameras on it.
This is so we can see your face. That's bright though.
We'll try to tilt the wrench. Keep watching the fence.
You feel Where's the goat?
That's okay though, because I don't mind that pause. Let's see one more time. Okay, so we're fine with this. So the next shot is.
I was thinking about this not too long ago, and I've noticed that all the Jurassic movies have the same rating They definitely push not to get an R. They want to go for the PG-13, which we wouldn't have without Spielberg. I think most people, most film enthusiasts, most cinephiles, you know, kind of people who are really into cinema, film, know that it's thanks to Spielberg that we have the PG-13 rating to begin with. But I was thinking about this the other day. The Jurassic World series doesn't have a lot of blood. And they really skirt around it with Camp Cretaceous and Chaos Theory. A lot of the killing will be a dinosaur going in for the kill, and then they cut to a reaction shot of the kids going, while the dinosaur eats somebody. Jurassic Park didn't shy away from showing blood and people being eaten and whatnot, you know. Of course, there's a lot of power in what wasn't shown. Never underestimate the power of, I know the general rule is show, don't tell, but with a movie like this, and it's what kind of worked in Jaws as well, is I know they had trouble out of the animatronics in Jaws, and that's typically why you don't see as much of the shark. The animatronic didn't really work the way it was supposed to, the way they wanted it to, and it complicated the filming. But here with Jurassic, like, not showing the raptor in the beginning, only showing the eye in the container. During the feeding, just showing the rustling of the foliage. Even having the Dilophosaur and the T-Rex on the first time around being a no-show. It's kind of building that anticipation and suspense that you really get to when you do get to see these creatures on screen. It pays off so much more.
Yeah.
But I think there's been far less blood since the first two films, which is fine. I'm not a gore hound. I don't just have to have blood in my movies. I just don't want them to shy away from it, you know.
Cut, print, great, take.
Oh. And with that, it's over. I guess I could have just said all that at the end without having to pause. Well, you know, this was going to be a short little video anyway. Yeah, so definitely check out Universal All Access the YouTube channel for that, on top of the Jurassic World YouTube channel. They do have other Jurassic related videos that we're going to be taking a look at. It's just today is like the 30th. I wanted to record this and get it out as one last hurrah for Jurassic June before we go into July. And I'm going to keep making Jurassic videos. I'm not going to stop, but you know, during Jurassic June, I do like to pump them out. And since we have relaunched the playlist, I've been trying to do my due diligence to not just not spam it, you know. I want these videos to really be worth your time and fun and interesting, and maybe show you something you haven't seen before. But that's behind the scenes footage. I guess they put it out when they put out stuff like this 4K Ultra HD. This was for the release of the Jurassic Park 4K, which I just learned today we've gotten up to 16K now, and that blew my mind. Why would you need that much clarity? Can the human eye even perceive the difference between, like, I don't know, 4K, 8K, 22K? Like, where does it end? You just get to suck us right into the thing eventually. But anywho, that's the end of today's video. It was short, it was sweet. I hope you guys have enjoyed the other videos in my playlist. I hope you guys had a terrific Jurassic June, a happy Pride Month. And don't forget about Juneteenth either. 3 big ones that we have going on in the month of June that we all like to acknowledge and celebrate, and, you know. Wonder what I'm going to look at next. I have a few ideas. There's a Lost World video that I want to look at, and a Jurassic Park 3 video that I want to look at. I believe the last video, or one of the last videos I did, was we've moved beyond the Beyond the Gates series into like the creator editions of Beyond the Gates, which is fun. I like when they bring on the toy photographers and the collectors and whatnot. It's really worth watching. I highly recommend it. that's going to be it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for being here and checking it out. See ya in the next one.